Pretty much is a way of think of it as, I don't think of it as a foreign travel, I just make it my number one priority. Hey guys, how you doing? It's another day, another video. Today coming to you from the Estrel Mountains up in the French Riviera, back home. And today I thought I'd address some of the more frequently asked questions you guys left in the comments, whether it's regarding travel and my strategies, points, all that stuff. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first question is, how often do you travel in order to collect all the points you have? Well, actually that's quite an interesting point, because the thing is 90% or maybe like 85% of the points I've earned are actually from non-flying activities, because I may fly quite a lot. I'd say probably like 20-30 times a year. I don't actually earn as much from flying as most people would, but actually my main way of earning is actually from my American Express card, because I have the American Express Platinum card, which earns me just 1 point per euro. Or if I book travel through American Express Travel, I actually earn double, which is the only bonus category it has. But actually other than that, I always find other more obscure ways to earn. So for example, if you've ever heard of a thing called shopping portals, so if you go to something called the Avios e-store, for example, you browse through there and you go through different retailers, and also online retailers such as ASOS, Apple, hotels.com, all these different retailers that you normally would shop at anyway. If you just think to click through this portal, you earn extra Avios. So for example, I've seen once, I think there was an offer like 8 or 10 Avios per pound on Apple purchase. So if you go and buy yourself a new iPhone or a new iPad or a MacBook, yeah, literally just by clicking through that portal, it just takes 2 seconds extra, and you earn yourself like 1,000 extra Avios, and you're like a quarter of the way towards a free trip just from purchasing something you were going to purchase anyway. And like ASOS, like 8 Avios per pound for ASOS. I know there's quite a few people out there who would shop at these places anyway. You might as well just earn some extra points. And then on top of that, you can do what's called double dip, where you earn both from the portal and from your credit card. So in my case, that would be my Amex. So yeah, double dip, and also sometimes you can even triple dip if you're lucky. But yeah, just basically finding as many ways to earn points as you can, no matter how weird, obscure and kooky they are. You don't have to fly a lot to earn miles and points. You just have to think outside the box just a little bit, but it doesn't take that much effort. Second question I see a lot is, how do I manage to travel with a full-time job? Well, pretty simply, a lot of the time it's a case of me just traveling on the weekends. Like Saturday, Sunday, they're the 2 days most people get off during the week, and they're the best days ever to travel, because you can literally go as far as you can. Especially if you're based in Europe, you can fly pretty much anywhere else to another country in like less than a couple of hours. And the best way I do it is I go to Google Flights, which is my preferred flight search website, and then I filter out the flights depending on the schedule. Because for me, when I search for flights, there's actually 3 factors to it. 1 is the price, obviously. 2 is the destination, because I want to go somewhere I might find interesting. And 3, and the most critical, is the schedule, because if the airline schedule doesn't match up with my work schedule, then I can't go somewhere. But I make sure that I never take time off work if unnecessary. And also on that front, definitely take a look and see what bank holidays and public holidays you have available, because you can literally just use those to get extra time, or even better yet, as I do sometimes, which is go further afield. So when I flew to Muscat for the weekend, I literally flew Qatar Airways on the Friday afternoon, and then on the Monday, which was the bank holiday, Easter Monday, I used that just to get back home. And besides weekends, I also get one big holiday every year, so I use that to the maximum, and I try and fit in as much adventure as I can. So last year I did, as you guys, if you haven't seen, I did a trip called The Wrong Way Round, where I went basically the wrong way around the world to try and get to Cape Town, South Africa. If you haven't seen the series, go check it out. I'll leave a card somewhere, wherever YouTube will leave it. Take as much time as you can to both get weekend trips and also to get as much holiday time as you're allowed, and just make the most of it and try and go as far afield as you can. Third point is, who do I collect miles with? One of my favourite mileage programs? Well, to start off with is my trusty American Express membership rewards points, because those are the points I earn with my Platinum card. So I earn 1 point per euro, because fortunately in France we don't get really any bonus categories apart from 2x for Amex travel. But the reason why I collect Amex is because they are transferable points, meaning that I can convert my Amex points into various different airlines. And some of the best examples I've used are British Airways, Air France KLM Flying Blue, you can Delta Sky Miles, Singapore Airlines Chris Fly Miles, SAS Euro Bonus Miles, and many others. And yeah, they're just really powerful and very flexible because I'm not tied to one specific airline or specific program. Unfortunately, here in France, our options are only 5 to 4. Rather than the UK and the US where it's 1-to-1. I wish we had that. Come on, Amex, please. S'il vous plaît. Second favorite program is definitely, I'd have to say, Alaska Airlines mileage plan, because that's where I probably got my best redemptions ever. One of them is actually an upcoming one, which I don't want to reveal just yet. For some of my friends already know about this, but I don't want to spoil it for you guys just yet, so stay tuned. But yeah, I've had some amazing redemptions with Alaska, such as I flew Cathay Pacific business class from Dublin to Hong Kong. If you've seen that, that's actually my most popular video, which is really cool to see that you guys enjoy it. So that was only 42,500 Alaska miles and about $42 in tax and fees. Alaska is definitely up there, and they have so many different partners to both earn and redeem, such as British Airways, Cathay Pacific, Emirates, Finnair, Icelandair, Aer Lingus, like tons and tons. Korean Air, for example. Yeah, there's just loads of ways to earn and redeem Alaska miles, and they are very good. And if you can't, otherwise, if you're in from the US, you can also earn the Alaska credit card, sorry. And otherwise, you can also transfer them in from Marriott Bonvoy, which is what I sometimes do, very rarely, at a 3-to-1 ratio. So I transfer from Amex to Marriott, and then from Marriott to Alaska, to top up my account every now and again. And my third favorite program is British Airways Executive Club, because that program is where I've got a few other redemptions, such as my Qatar Airways Q Suites flight. That was 37,500 British Airways Avios, transferred straight from my Amex Gold at the time. Now it's my Platinum. That was really one of my best flights. Now it was only like 112 euros in taxes. And also BA's got me a few really cheap economy tickets, such as they have in Europe, which is a thing called Reward Flight Saver. If you've seen my Points Guy video, you've seen Christian Kramer from the Points Guy UK, he explained this as well, where British Airways on short European flights caps the taxes at just £17.50, regardless of where you're flying to in Europe. If it has Reward Flight Saver, you have that cap. And also, fun tip guys, that extends all the way to actually just beyond Europe, for like Moscow and Morocco. So there's plenty of ways to use it. Another cool thing about British Airways Avios is that they have various different partners you can use, although sadly they've recently updated the chart. It's just a little bit more expensive, not too much, but like just a little bit more. Back in January I redeemed for Aer Lingus Economy to fly from San Francisco to Dublin using the Avios and Money option, which is where you can redeem less Avios but you pay a little bit more cash. So I only paid 69 euros in tax and fees to go from California all the way to Ireland. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of value to be had with Avios, and especially if in the UK, there's plenty of ways to earn them. Like, you know, you can get a British Airways Amex card. You actually transfer, a lot of people know this, but you can actually transfer your Tesco Club card points into British Airways Avios, and so your daily shopping spend or your weekly shop from Tesco, you can put that towards your next trip. A lot of people I've talked to have said, oh, I can never use my points, it's too hard, it's too complicated. Let me just put this blunt to you. No, it's not that complicated. It's just you need to be willing to look at the bigger picture, because you go to Tesco all the time. Why not just think, like, it takes 2 seconds to pull your club card out, scan it every time, and then once you've hit £2.50 in voucher for club card points, why not convert those into 625 Avios? And you think, if you're like a family of 4 and you, let's say you spend like 200 quid a week on Tesco shopping for both your food shopping, your petrol, all that stuff, and you put that all together, within a year you've got yourself like a round trip to New York from the UK or Ireland. Who wouldn't want that? Just needs to change your mindset just a little bit. And it's not about putting effort in, it's just about just changing the way you think of it, and just being strategic with both your spending and your earnings, and being sure that you always earn wherever you can. And I guess that's a good way to lead into my last point, which is actually a lot of people have asked, which is, and the most frequent question, which is, how do I afford to travel? Pretty much is the way I think of it as, I don't think of it as affording to travel, I just make it my #1 priority. So I don't go clubbing, I don't go out to drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any sort of social stuff that most people my age would do. Yeah, I just make sure that every single cent I spend is devoted to travel or daily expenses, because yeah, I just have two main priorities in life. Just basically I just changed my mindset over the course of the last few years, and I just devoted it, and it's become I can basically call myself now a part-time traveler. So it's not about, so you have to think of it more of a case of, okay, I want to travel. How do I do so? Okay, do I need this Nintendo Switch console? No, I don't. Okay, I'll sell it. Do I need this fancy car that looks really cool? No, I don't. Okay, let's get myself a cheap little wheels that can get me around, or better yet, get something that's even cheaper. Yeah, so basically it's a case of cut down costs at every single little level, no matter how small or infinitely minute, and just make travel your number one priority in life. If that's what you want to do, then you can do it. So if you guys have any more questions for me, be sure to leave them in the comments below, or shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm at mattnav_travel, and yeah, I'll leave all my details in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, sure to give it a big thumbs up, really appreciate it, and sure to subscribe for more videos coming soon, whether it's travel videos or me just gallivanting around the French Riviera. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.